Hi, and thanks so much for joining me. Today we are ranking all of the holiday collections that I currently have. So if you'd like to see that, please keep watching. I did purchase most of these, but there was one collection that was kindly gifted by Chantecaille, so thank you so much, Chantecaille. But let's go ahead and rank them. I thought of two different ways to rank them. So one is usability. So what are the things I think I will get the most use out of? So we'll do that one first. I thought we could also look at unique offerings. So those things that are limited edition, because typically holiday collections are limited edition. So what makes them different than other items that are out there? And are they worth picking up? Because those are two different things. So again, I've got Guerlain, Chantecaille, Chanel, Hourglass, Dior. What else is in here? Clé de Peau. I also have a couple of honorable mentions because they're not actually, I don't think they are holiday collection items. In fact, I know one is not, but they kind of fall into this category. So the number one item that I think I will get the most use out of all of the holiday items is the Guerlain Terracotta Gold Bronze. Now it does have the beautiful design on it, which disappears the first time you use this. So it is in the shade 3 Medium Warm, which is a current shade of theirs. So this version is limited edition, but the actual bronzer shade is not. But out of all the items, I think I will use this most. I think it's the most beautiful shade for my skin tone. It's got that warmth to it, nothing red in there, nothing pink, nothing too cool. It's just the perfect bronzer for me. So that is why I think I will use this the most. Actually, I've been pulling for this one quite a bit. The next item, my number 2 item that I think I will get the most use out of is the Chantecaille Akoya blush. I love blush. If you've seen my channel before, you know I love layering blushes. In fact, I have 2 blushes on here right now. Of course, I filmed the Get Ready With Me if you'd like to see that. But this is such a beautiful texture as well. Very creamy, silky going on. It is one of the prettiest blushes I've ever tried. Really easy to use as well. This is very easy to pick up. Very silky going on and just has the most beautiful glow. You can see it right here. It's almost like a skin perfecting kind of blush, which is why I love this one so much. It's a little bit cool for me, but I can wear cool blushes. In fact, I think you can wear whatever blush you like, but I think it's the finish that's the most important. So for me, my preference is a beautiful skin-like kind of glow. Nothing shimmery, nothing sparkly, just a beautiful glow, and this delivers. It's so pretty. Number 3 is this palette by Hourglass. I have been pulling for this quite frequently. I actually have it on my counter because after sunscreen or SPF, I get a bit of a white cast because I use that heavy duty, even up by Color Science. So if I finish with this powder, because it's a little bit deeper, it's really beautiful, I'll go in with either one of these or both of these blushes and the bronzer daily. I do not use this though because it's a little too shimmery for me, but I love all of the other shades in there. This has actually been used quite a bit since I purchased it. Next up, I love this shade, actually I'm wearing it right now, is the Chanel No. 5 Holiday Collection. This one is in the shade 157. So it's the deeper of the 2 that I picked up. The other one's more of a red. I'll show that to you in a minute, but this will get quite a bit of use, especially over the holiday season. It's a really beautiful color, I think, for the winter as well. Love the formula. This is the Rouge Allure formula, which is one of my favorite Chanel formulas. Then we've got this by Chanel. It's the Iridescent Illuminating Fluid, and I mixed it in with a foundation that was a little too deep for me, so it just lightened up the shade as well as the weight of the foundation. I went in with the Armani Neo Nude, which is, I don't know where it went, but it's Armani Neo Nude that I talked about recently. I really have no idea where it is. I just applied my makeup too, so I don't know what happened to it, but it did lighten that up and give it a little bit of a glow. Nothing sparkly though when I mixed it in with it. It does have that potential though when you use it on its own to see some individual particles, but when it was mixed in, I didn't see that. Then I'm gonna throw this in here, the Advent Calendar by Chantecaille. I will put a little close up here now of it, simply because I will use all the items in there, especially for travel. I've already taken the little minis out and packed them in my backpack that I picked up from Monos. I love that, but I already have everything packed away, so definitely using every single item in there. So it's a very useful advent calendar if you were wondering about it. They did a really excellent job with that, the advent calendar. And this might come as a surprise to be ranked so highly, but it's the Guerlain Météorites, and this is in the shade Gold Pearls. And I love this one. I thought it was going to be too light. Ooh, ooh, there's a little bit of the Météorites dust coming up. But I thought it was going to be too light, but it really just does give the most beautiful ethereal glow. I love this. I think it might be my favorite Météorites that I've tried. And I've tried, let's see, I tried the one from, I can't remember which year it was, but it was like a rose gold, a deeper one, which was beautiful. And then the regular ones, I mixed the medium and the golden, I think is what it's called, to get to the shade that I like. But I actually really like this with the original configuration here. So I think it's really, really beautiful. And then moving on, the Clé de Peau blush. This one in Warmth Magic is beautiful. I have that on as well. I applied it over foundation and powder today. It worked really beautifully. So if you were thinking about this one, if it's still available, it was really difficult to find, but I'll see if I can spot that for you. But it is a really pretty one that I will continue to use over and over. Then we've got this, which I wasn't quite sure I'd wear this as much, but I actually wore this the last couple of days during the day, the eyeshadow in Baroque. And if you go in with a really thin layer, just a really light hand, it's the most beautiful wash of almost the bronzy tone coming through. So I saw less of the pink and more of the bronze when I went in with a lighter hand, and just the littlest shimmer in there. So I really like that with a light hand on an everyday kind of look, but it's really pretty, really unique one. Then speaking of eyes, I love this Mad Eyes color combination. So the shiny gold and then that plum shade, I think is a beautiful combination. In fact, as I was doing this look, I thought, how interesting would it be to take this plum and just go all over the lid and then under and in the waterline as well, and then put the gold above it. I think that might be really stunning. So I might have to try that. I'm really, really curious about that. But this is an easy one to use if you have experience with this. If you don't have experience with eyeshadow sticks, maybe pass on this one. But if you do love eyeshadow sticks and you can work quickly, this is a really pretty one. Then we got the Chantecaille highlighting powder. I just think this is the prettiest powder, even though it doesn't look like it would work for my skin. I have it on here on my cheekbones. Really beautiful glow. It just is stunning. So I am so happy with this. I love the way it reflects the light. Again, even though it's not warm, usually I like something that's more champagne, but I think it works really beautifully. That's why this one makes me think it's a little bit more universal than I had anticipated, because usually those cool colors don't look really great on me, but I think it looks really beautiful. Then we're finally getting to a Dior palette. So this one is 469. And even though it's not as unique, I think I would use this more because it does have some very safe shades. It is definitely more pigmented than it looks online. Very neutral palette though, but I think I will use this. I just have to remember that I have it. I almost forgot to use it in this look today, in fact. We've got this Clé de Peau lip shade. This is the one in 519. I think it's so pretty. If you like a cool color, something vibrant, this is beautiful. I loved the formula. It's not the first thing I'm going to pull for, or even like the third thing I'm going to pull for, but when I do wear it, it's pretty. So there's nothing bad about this. It's just that it's not my initial preference, but it's a really pretty one. But I just don't think I'll use it as much as the other products that are here. Then we've got 147 by Chanel. This is a really beautiful red shade, but I think I wear them for videos, but I don't wear them in real life that often. But if I did want a traditional red shade, I would go for this one. I just don't think I'll wear it as much as some of the other products here. Finally, we're here with the Chanel palette. This is the Chanel No. 5. I really liked the look that I came up with. I don't know if I really came up with it. I looked at some of the pictures they had on their website and I kind of just went with that, but did my own version of it. And I really liked how this looked all over the eye. I thought it was really dramatic, also very tastefully done, even though there's some shimmer in there, but it's not necessarily my style of makeup. That's probably the only reason why, but if you like that style, you might really like this one, because I thought it was really, really pretty. And I think it made my eyes actually look bigger, even though I put the dark shade all around my eye. When I looked at the video, it just made my eyes look so much larger. So I am curious to try this a little bit more dramatic, actually, like some of you suggested. So I'd love to try that, but it's not going to be something I would wear every day. So that's why it's a little bit further down. Actually, it's almost towards the end here, just because of that usability. So not necessarily how much I love the products, although there's some correlation. I just won't be using this every day. Then we've got the Dior palette here in 739, and this is one I probably won't use that much just because of the shades. They weren't something I normally wear, something that I think really flatters me, but they performed really well. I just feel like it's probably better for someone else's coloring other than mine. But if you like these shades, you might really like this palette. And then finally, this one. I actually tucked this away already in storage because I didn't think I would be looking at this again. It's the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit Universe, just because these shades are not as flattering on me. I think it's the other one is, and there's a little bit more shimmer in here in all of the products versus the other one. So that's why this one, I actually haven't used this one at all since that video. So this would be at the bottom of my list. Another honorable mention is this Chantecaille lip shade in Damask. It's not part of a holiday collection. In fact, it's part of the fall collection, but I think it's so holiday appropriate. I've been pulling for this for more evening types of things. It's such a pretty shade. So I did want to mention that. And I do try it on in the Get Ready With Me before I put this lip on because I wanted to see how it worked with these. So beautiful, beautiful lip shade. So I'm gonna pause right here, reshuffle these because we're going to talk about how unique or how special these are compared to items in a regular or a, what's the word I'm looking for? A permanent collection. So we're going to look at how these rank against items you can just pick up here and there in case you were looking for something like them. So let me go ahead and do that. So I've reshuffled them, and again, these are items that I think are unique to any permanent collections or their permanent collections, that because these are limited edition would be things to consider picking up if you were looking at them. Once they're gone, they may or may not come back in a permanent collection, but some of the things I've seen as limited edition items don't come back. So this is the number one pick. It is the Chantecaille highlighting powder. It is such a beautiful glow. I've said it before, but I actually think you could put this all over your face if you wanted to. And I don't have any other highlighting powders like this. So let me know if you have something that you think would be a dupe. But for me, I haven't encountered something like this before, really special one. This one's very unique. It is the Chanel No. 5 palette. I think this is a beautiful collector's item if you collect makeup. I use all of my makeup, so I do get into them and it's not going to look this pretty forever. But if you are a collector, I think this one is gorgeous. And again, celebrating that Chanel No. 5. Then this Guerlain Météorites, I think is, again, one of their most beautiful meteorites I've tried. So if you were wanting to pick this up, now's your chance because I think this will work on so many people. The advent calendar, of course, is limited edition. There are so many useful items in here, which is why I'm putting this higher on the list. Not all advent calendars have really useful items in there, but again, I will use every single item that's in here. Then we've got this eyeshadow. I don't think I have anything like this in all of the eyeshadows that I have. This beautiful shade I think is really unique, and you can build this up or you could wear it for every day, which is not something I anticipated. I thought this would only be a special occasion kind of thing, but it is definitely something I've worn actually a couple times this week during the day, and it works really beautifully. This and just a little bit of mascara is so pretty. Again, that's the eyeshadow in Baroque by Chantecaille. And this one, because it's limited edition, I love this shade. The Or Ivoire by Chanel. It's so pretty. It's the perfect one for me. So if you were thinking about this, I would get this one because there have been so many limited edition Chanel items that have gone out and I thought maybe they'd come back, but they didn't. So this would be one to definitely pick up if you were thinking about it. So pretty. Then we've got the Chantecaille Akoya blush. I love blush. The formula here is really beautiful. In fact, I think I missed describing this to you the last time, so let me just look. Yeah, so this is a luminous powder balm blush. So powder balm is a really interesting description. A powder blush, like you can see, but it feels also very balmy at the same time. So that is why it's such a unique kind of consistency and really just enhances the skin. So anything that's a blush that can make the skin look even better, I love that kind of blush. Then we've got this, not that the colors are super unique, but the fact that these are all together and you can use all of these pretty easily, and you'll get a lot of use out of it if you like these shades, except again for the highlighter for me. That's why I rank this a little bit higher, is because they have so many beautiful colors all in one place. Sometimes palettes have beautiful shades here or here or here, but not most of the shades. I mean, if this was a little bit finer of a highlighter, I'd say this was a perfect palette, but here's a perfect palette right here. Then we've got the new lip shade by Chanel. I ranked this higher than the other one as well. 157, because I really like this berry tone, and sometimes berry tones can be a little bit too cool. This one's just a perfect balance of the two, so it's not too cool or too warm on me. Then we've got this blush, because I think this shade is just so pretty, and I think it will work on a lot of people as well, even though it pulls a little bit cool on me. There is some warmth in there as well, so I think this is going to be quite a neutral blush for most people. And then the Mad Eyes, I think it's pretty. I don't think the colors themselves are that unique. I think you could probably find these, like this reminds me a little bit of Copper by Laura Mercier, although that one is much more luminescent. I'm going to say it reflects the light much more than something like this, but you could replicate it. And then this plum shade I think isn't that unique. I love the combination of orange and purple, although that's not orange, it's gold color, but it's the same idea. I do love the color combination here. So the Terracotta Gold Bronze is ranked on the lower side here because this is not a unique shade in and of itself. It is with the gold, because it says here on their site, the legendary terracotta bronzing powder is reinterpreted in a terracotta gold bronze limited edition, which revisits the best-selling 03 shade in celebration of the holiday season. So they're revisiting a shade that existed. So this is not a new shade, but the gold motif is what makes it limited edition and new. Then we've got this Clé de Peau, simply because I don't think this is that unique of a shade. Really beautiful product, but I don't think it's something that would be that hard to find in another line. I feel like I've seen other products that look similar to this. And also then we've got the Chanel 147 Emblématique, which is a beautiful red. Not the most unusual red shade, but really pretty. But I feel like if you wanted to pick up a red somewhere else, you might find something very, very similar. Then I put the Dior palettes, both of these at the end, just because they were both pretty, but nothing really unique here in terms of their shades. I think you could find shades that look very similar to these. Speaking of hard to find shades, I forgot to mention, I have an honorable mention for eyeshadow as well, because I don't know if this is really a holiday release or what, but it kind of came out around that time. It's the BYREDO Metal Boots in the Snow. I fell in love with this palette right away. It's so beautiful, so unique. So this, if I was going to rank this amongst these, I would put this in the top maybe 3 or 4 because it's such a unique palette. So I did want to shout this one out, and I think it's back on at Nordstrom again. So if you did want this, I will leave the link below. But I did use a little bit of the navy shade here today, just because I love it so much. And then this is the one that I placed last. But that is it for my ranking for these products. I hope that helped you, because again, I know with limited edition items, it's kind of tricky because to wait for them, sometimes they're not there anymore. So if you were thinking about them, I hope that helped you. Again, if you want to see this look, I used so many of these products. I'm going to say I tried to use almost every product. I didn't use every product, but maybe like 75% of them, I think I tried. They are on my face somewhere. But I'd love to know what your favorite holiday collection products are, what you've picked up, what you've tried out, or what you're considering. And if I can answer any questions, I'd be happy to do that. But that is it for today's video, so please take care of each other, stay well. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you next time.